Hi, this is Carol Wisely bringing you Radio Free Decipher from Norfolk, Virginia on Friday, January 15th, day after my birthday. And I'm here talking with Kyle Heuer, who's now known as Rogue Leader, and is briefly in the office between road trips. So I thought I would get hold of Kyle and talk to him about where he's been, what he's been doing on his recent trip. So where have you been, Kyle?
Pretty much up and down the eastern seaboard this last week, talking with a lot of volunteers, some players, stopping by some stores. Basically what I'm trying to do is, I've recently come into the Rogue Leader position, and a lot of the guys in the squadron don't know who I am and don't know my way of doing things. So that's what I'm sort of doing, is trying to get out there, get a feel for what's going on in the squadron, in the playing community, talking with a lot of the guys and just kind of getting to know them.
So who have you been seeing? Name some of the guys around here.
Jim Van Fleet, Rick Salman, Jason Robinette. When I was on holiday in California, I also met with a bunch of the squadron members out there, Paul Todd Feldman, Paul Heggie, a lot of people out there as well. So it's been quite a cross-cultural selection that I've met with so far.
Good. So what have you been finding? What's happening in the playing field?
A lot of people are really happy with the objectives right now. They think it's a great new game dynamic, and they're really looking forward to us building upon those. So that's one of the things that's really popular right now. A lot of people are also really looking forward to some scenario stuff. If we can go ahead and get some more of that out there in the playing community, they think it's a really good format which to build upon.
Good. Any particular favorite objectives that you've heard?
A lot of people right now are really playing with Hidden Base and Hunt Down and Destroy the Jedi. I've seen a lot of really fun Mind What You Have Learned, the Jedi training one, but that's more of a see what I can do with it type deck. A lot of people are just experimenting with that right now, but they're having a lot of fun with it. So.
What about the enhanced Premier cards? Are you seeing those character and weapon cards?
Absolutely, a lot of people are playing with those. From almost everybody that I've talked to, actually I would say everybody that I've talked to has said that people are just loving those. They're gobbling them up. They're seeing them in decks all over the place. A lot of new players are really glad those came out, and they're able to start having a little bit of a fighting chance, and so it's gone over really well. A lot of people are playing with them. So.
Do you see all of them, all 6 of them?
Absolutely, yeah. I think it's an easy way for new and younger players to play with the Hunt Down and Destroy the Jedi deck, because the Vader is so easily accessible. So. A lot of people are playing with that one in that deck, and of course all the light side characters together are just awesome. Multiple Destiny draws, which is really good. So
great, good. Well, I think you're going where next? Chicago?
No, actually next I'm going to Alabama, Tennessee, and then Georgia.
Oh, so you can see Jim
Colson, Shelby Abercrombie, a lot of people over in that area, and then I fly up to Chicago. I'll be meeting with Joe Allred and Tony Prokes and John Cernicki, and then from there I will be going down to Texas to meet with a lot of the people down in that area. So.
Excellent. Well, enjoy your trip. Come back and tell us all about it.
All right.
And hopefully the need for some scenario tournaments is going to be met by something we're announcing today. So talk to you soon, Kyle.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, now, I've got Kendrick here. I want to talk to Kendrick Summers, Marketing Manager, about some new promotions we have coming up in the tournament scene. It follows nicely on from Kyle finding that there's an appetite out there for a little bit of variety early in the year. So I'm going to ask Kendrick to describe a new tournament promotion. It's not been announced yet. It's being premiered here on Radio Free Decipher, and it's called Bespin and Beyond.
Good morning, Carol. Well, actually, that's good news from Kyle, because scenario tournaments is something that we've always wanted to premiere, because we feel like with a strong storyline, that's something that would go over really well. So Bespin and Beyond carries on with that, and what we've done is created a tournament environment where players have the opportunity to use cards from the Cloud City expansion and everything forward, including all the premium cards from our what we call our ancillary products or our support products, like the second anthology and the official tournament sealed deck and the enhanced premier packs. All those premium cards are usable in this environment as well. So you have Cloud City, Jabba's Palace, and Special Edition, creating a tournament environment where people can focus on some of the strategies that they may have left alone in lieu of things like mains and toys and a lot of the earlier decks that were really strong. Within this tournament environment, we want to run tournaments for about 3 months using our volunteers all over the world and tournament directors as well. But we're offering some interesting prizes for these events. We've got brand new T-shirts, and I won't reveal what they are at the moment, but you can get on the website a little bit later and read about what they are. But the one thing I will say is that we're going to find a way to put some Japanese Star Wars CCG product into the mix and offer those as prizes, and we think that should be pretty exciting for the tournament players. So the main thing I'm looking for is a new shaken up environment that doesn't have things like sense alter and control and a lot of the old main characters with their lightsabers and a lot of the things that people are used to playing. I'd like to see something a little bit new, and maybe some new deck designs will come out of this. I hope players have an opportunity to really enjoy it.
Well, let's just get absolutely straight. Which cards are going to be allowed then?
Okay, the legal cards for this tournament environment are the Cloud City expansion, Jabba's Palace expansion, all the special edition cards, the premium cards from the second anthology, from the official tournament sealed deck, and from the enhanced premiere.
Great, and nothing before that?
Nothing before that. So
no Jedi pack cards, no Rebel leaders?
No premium cards from before Cloud City. That means Hoth, A New Hope, and the premiere set are out. The first anthology cards are out. The Jedi pack cards are out. The Rebel leader cards are out. So you've got a pretty wide berth of cards to use, but there's a lot of old staples also that aren't going to be available for this format.
Well, that'll be interesting to see how those decks stack up then. So you're telling me that there'll be a full description of this on the web sometime today or Monday? Absolutely.
We're issuing a story with full details for all tournament directors interested to sign up their tournaments, and we'll have a full sideboard of prizes to offer for these events as well if tournament directors use our special page to sign up their events.
Great. Well, I know also that we're going to do something not similar for Star Trek, but we're also going to do something for the Star Trek tournament scheme based on an idea that was sent in. Marcus, tell us about that.
Well, our ambassadors tend to give us some really good feedback and really good ideas about what's happening out in Star Trek land. And one of our ambassadors came up with a really good idea in order to help celebrate the evolution of Star Trek. So what we're going to end up doing is we're going to start a new tournament scene. It's going to be called Return to Farpoint. We're also going to provide some really cool special prizes for this event. Return to Farpoint is basically 5 stages of tournaments. The first stage will include the premiere set, alternate universe, and the starter deck 2. Then stage 2 will then also incorporate into that the Q continuum as well as the first anthology. And as the stages progress, more of our expansions will be included, as well as some of those specialty products that also came out, until we get to the final stage, stage 5, which will include the Dominion. So there will be full details posted on the website as far as how those stages are set up, as well as a form for the tournament directors to fill out so that they can post those tournaments on our website.
That's great. Now, Dominion is how many days away now?
Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 6.
Great. That's really exciting. And Enhanced First Contact released 2 days ago. And I've been hearing, well, first of all, I heard people having trouble finding it, but I think that's pretty much cleared through now. There was some weather issues that meant some of the product didn't reach the further regions away from Norfolk on Wednesday and didn't get there till Thursday. But I think that's pretty much cleared through now. Are you hearing good comments, Marcus?
I've heard a lot of good comments. I'm getting a lot of really great feedback from people. People are really looking forward to the tournaments going on this weekend. A lot of board decks are being built. I've actually had some people sending in some board deck ideas and asking me for advice and things of this nature. I think Evan Lorenz is a little bit better at that than I am, but I think it's going to be really exciting. I think it's going to turn around some tournament scenes out there to see the board become a really viable tournament strategy.
Well, that's great. I'm looking forward to hearing about that too. Okay, thanks guys for that. I need to talk with Kendrick a little bit further, but thanks Marcus for talking to us.
No problem.
Kendrick, before we close off today, I want to talk to you a little bit about the World Championships this year, because I know that we've been working on announcing and getting the story together to announce the qualification process. This year the qualification process is going to be significantly different. Can you begin to tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. This is an issue that we have tossed and turned about for a while now, and I know last year there were a few issues that I think detracted a little bit from the way that we ran our regional qualifiers and the World Championships, and we're constantly trying to adjust the system to accommodate as many players as possible. We have a regional system that is difficult to allow everyone to play, and we always want to make it so that as many players as possible can compete in this system, because I think it's a good experience for all of our tournament players to be able to compete on a regional level. So what we've done this year is we've actually added a tier to the competition system, whereas in '98 and before you competed in one tournament, and if you won that tournament you advanced directly to the World Championships. Well, what we wanted to try and do this year was add another layer to that competition system. So what we've come up with is a system wherein each region, between the months of April and August, and the specific dates of course will be in the story, but it's about April 1st through the end of August, all tournament directors and volunteers within a particular region are allowed to run what we are calling our qualification tournaments. Now, each region can hold as many qualification tournaments as there are willing tournament directors and volunteers. So each of those qualified tournament directors will be running a constructed deck qualification tournament and an OTSD qualification tournament. We wanted to add sealed deck into the mix so that people who felt like their strengths were more in the sealed deck tournament format could compete and advance to eventually our World Championships. So each tournament director that wants to run a qualification tournament has the opportunity to run 2 events, one constructed and one sealed deck. And the winners of those qualification events will advance onto what we are calling our regional championships. So now each region on the globe will have one championship tournament where all the winners from previous qualification tournaments will get to compete against each other, and the winner from that tournament will advance to the World Championships. So out of 23 regions in the world, we will have 23 regional champions, and all of those players will advance to our World Championships. Now, in addition to those 23 regional championships, we're also going to hold what we're calling invitational tournaments, and that's a spin-off directly from our rating system. We're going to invite a number of players to each of our invitational tournaments who have a rating of, at this point, I believe it's over 1,700. So for all you people that are checking the web for your ratings, take a look at that. And of course the details on our invitational system will be on the web as well. But those invitational tournaments are open to anyone. That's a borderless tournament. So if you have a rating of 1,700 and you want to come play in an invitational, you're more than welcome, and you are absolutely invited, thus the name, Invitational. So we added that system in to allow a more open feel, and yet there is that level of competition there where you need to be an established tournament player. So we felt like the invitationals was also a great idea. And we're gonna add 6 invitational tournaments to that scheme, bringing the total number of seats to 29 for the World Championships. That leaves 1 seat, and of course that last seat will go to Matt Potter, who was the world champion for Star Wars CCG last year, bringing the total number up to 30. We're going to have 30 finalists competing at our World Championships. And I won't go into a whole lot of detail about the World Championships this year. We're going to hold them sometime in early November, and they will be quite a bit different from the format that we've used the past 3 years, but we're hoping that it's going to be really exciting for those players. And because we added an extra level of complexity in there, I think the competition level is also going to be turned up a notch on that. So we're excited about this system, and we hope that the bottom tier of qualification tournaments really adds to the spice of the whole system, and it's going to allow exponentially a much greater number of players to compete. So all those sanctioned tournaments out there running between April and August may indeed be qualification tournaments. So check the website, make sure you know what you're competing in, and maybe you'll be playing in the regional championship later this year.
Great. Well, thanks, Kendrick, and I believe we're doing the same thing for Star Trek.
Yeah, the Star Trek CCG is going to be mirrored to the exact scheme as the Star Wars CCG. We're going to run our qualification tournaments throughout each region and advance all those players to their regional championship, who will then advance to the World championship. We'll run the Invitational Tournaments, and we'll also invite last year's world champion, Bill Chen. One point of note is that if we're running the exact same number of world finalists for Star Trek, then that means our regional map is going to change a little bit. And Mark Certa has been working on adjusting that a little bit so that we can bring the number of regions for Star Trek up to 23 to mirror the Star Wars regions. So for those of you that don't know about the change in the Star Wars regions, we're actually going to split one of our regions as it stands for Star Wars. The Hoth region is now going to be 2 different regions. Basically, it's going to be West Hoth and East Hoth, but we're going to give them some interesting names, and we'll reveal that on the website, but keep an eye on that, as well as the changes in the borders for the regions for the Star Trek game. So we're really excited about that entire new scheme. We're going to have a lot of fun this summer running those regional events. You can bet that you're going to see Decipher at most of the regional championships. We want to put a lot of emphasis on those because they hold a lot more importance this year, because the player coming from each region will now be that region's champion to advance to the World Finals. So look for us this summer, late August, September, October, and we will see you at one of those tournaments.
Great. Well, I know there are some other tournament things that we can discuss, but I think we're probably about out of time for today. We're going to be introducing team events. We're going to be introducing or promoting league play in a bigger way, because I've seen the plans on that. So we'll be talking to you about that on a future broadcast, as well as all the other plans for Star Wars this year. Eventually, we'll be at a point where we can talk to you about Episode 1 and all the other exciting things that are coming for Star Trek. I'm hoping that over the next couple of weeks I'll be able to talk some more about new products that you can expect in '99.
Excellent. Well, I'll certainly be here. I'll have my seat here with you.